Now friends, we are starting a chapter that is called alkane. See, whatever the groups we are studying in nomenclature, so all group we have to study here in detail. So first group is alkane. So for all the groups like alkane, alkene, alkyne, alkyl, alcohol, aldehyde, ketone, phenol, whatever the groups are there in your books, so we have to study basically four concepts. First is a preparation, second is a property which includes physical property and chemical property. Now, third is an application which is known as conversion. And fourth is a test that is called distinguish. So, these four topics we have to study for all chapters, out of which alkane, alkene, alkyne and benzene, that is in the 11th class. Rest of the group are in 12th class and that will come around 20 to 25 marks in 12th class. So, that is the weightage out of 70. And this basic is responsible for the development of the next topic. If you don't know this topic, so then you will always remain in confusion. So understand this concept very well. So first we are starting with the alkane, which is the 11th topic. So first we will do the preparation. So alkane is prepared by many means. So first concept for preparing the alkane, that is alkene plus H2 in the presence of nickel will give you alkane. This is the concept. Now it can be any alkene. Ethene, propene, butene, pentene and so on. Same way, second is alkyne plus twice of H2 in the presence of nickel. So that will again give you alkane. So we have to prepare the alkane by various sources. So first source is alkene, go for the H2. Alkyne twice of H2 nickel, you will get alkane. The third is twice of RX, that is an alkyl halide, plus twice of Na in the presence of dry ether. That will combine these RR group which is alkyl group. So it will give you alkane. Basically it doubles the carbon. So twice of NaX. And this reaction is known as the Wurtz reaction. Name reaction has its own importance and name reactions are widely used in your syllabus. Next is your RCOONA plus twice of HOH. That is water basically. So this HOH is nothing but water. I have just written it separately so that to understand it. This Na and this OH will react and this H2 that will combine and this CO2 will combine together. So left behind is RR plus twice of CO2 plus twice of NaOH and plus H2. So this is your reaction and this takes place in the presence of electricity. So it is also known as the electrolysis or coal-based electrolysis. Next is RMGX. This compound is very important, known as the Grignard reagent. So RMGX plus HOH, Mg is always attack on OH, so R will left with the H, so RH that is again giving you alkane, MgX and OH that is your byproduct. Now this 6 to 9 reaction, the reaction which I am keeping in the boxes, that is only for ISC board. Rest of the reaction are in CBSE or state boards. This is only for ISC. This you don't have to use and include in your CBSE syllabus. Please just keep in the mind. I will keep on reminding you. So all boxes are in ISC board. ISC people, these reactions are extra other and along with these reactions, means these reactions are there in the CBSE course, but there are certain reactions which are extra in ISC board, which are not in CBSE board. So for CBSE syllabus, all are reactions for ISC board. And for CBSE only eliminating by this group, rest are the CBSE board. So now when you take any alcohol, react with twice of H and the presence of red phosphorus gives you RH plus I2 plus H2O. See, whenever you find any HI, so it will always give you I2 plus water. Just keep in the mind, depending on the oxygen present here. So ROH contains only one oxygen, so you will get only one water. So ROH plus twice of HI gives you RH plus I2 plus H2O. Same way RCHO, that is the aldehyde group. Aldehyde group plus 4HI in the presence of red phosphorus gives you alkane, RCH3. This part will convert into CH3. Just keep in the mind. CHO part will convert into CH3 plus twice of I2 plus H2O. Same way this ketone part will convert into, and only this part carbon will convert into CH3. So let's take another example, that is ketone RCOR dash. Here R or R dash may be same or may be different. So whatever the R you put, you have to put the same R in the product. So RCOR dash plus 4HI in the presence of red phosphorus, that will give you RCH2. Only ketone part will convert into CH2. R dash plus twice of I2 plus H2O. Next we have a RCOH plus 6HI in the presence of red phosphorus. Again give you RCH3 plus thrice of I2, since there are 6 I, so converted to thrice I2. There are 2 oxygen, so that will convert into twice of H2O. 10th reaction is RCOONA plus NaOH in the presence of calcium oxide. So this red portion will always combine together and R will go with that. So RH, that is again your alkane, plus Na2CO3. Reaction is known as the decarboxylation reaction because carbon is removed. D means removal. So reaction is decarboxylation. 11th reaction is your RX plus twice of H in the presence of Zn and HX. So whatever the X you take here, same X you take there. Or X may be your Cl or Br. Don't try to take fluorine or iodine. It has certain limitation because of reactivity. So just for simple reaction, always try to take Cl or Br. So that will give you RH plus HX. Or same RH you add H2, but this time when you take H2, so you need a catalyst like nickel, platinum or palladium. So here we are taking the nickel, so that will give you RH plus HX. So this is your concept. Now I am taking one example on each concept. Otherwise you can take any example. For example, alkene plus H2. I am taking ethene. So ethene plus H2, that will give you ethane. One H will go this side, one H will go this side, bond will be broken. Now here you take propene plus H2 gives you propane. Butene plus H2 gives you butane. Pentene plus H2 gives you pentane. So you can take any of the reaction there. Carbon chain is unlimited in this concept. Now we have CH triple bond CH plus twice of H2 in the presence of nickel. So H will be distributed, bond will be broken, and carbon will get its 4 valences saturated. So ethyne gives you ethane, propane will give you propane, butane will give you butane, pentane will give you pentane. So triple bond can be anywhere, but that will be always give you the alkane, means triple bond will be broken down. Next, third one, here R group may be ethyl, methyl, propyl, butyl, pentyl, it can be anything. So you are taking methyl chloride. So this RR will be get doubled, so this will give you ethane, means twice of R. Suppose you take twice of C2H5, so that will give you butane. Twice of C3H7, so that will give you hexane. So this way you just double the carbon. So twice of methyl will give you ethane and twice of NaX. Same way, you take RCONA plus twice of HOH, that is nothing but water. So that is water basically. So HOH I have taken here as this is water basically. So this Na and this OH will get separated, this H2 will get separated, this CO2 will get separated with twice of CO2. Left behind is CH3 and this is twice in nature. So twice of CH3 give you CH3, that is 2 CH3 group, plus twice of CO2 plus twice of NaOH plus H2. And reaction is already told you, that is electrolysis, electricity is required. It is also known as Kolb's electrolysis. Next group is RMGX, that is Grignard reagent. So for the R I have taken methyl. So methyl magnesium halide. So you can take here chloride, bromide. X you can take chlorine, bromine, anything. So methyl magnesium halide, water. So magnesium halide always attack on the OH. So left behind is H. So that will give you CH4, CH3H, that is included CH4, MgX and OH. MgX has 2 positive valency, so that is satisfied with the X and OH. Next is your methyl alcohol, 1 carbon with reduction gives you methane. Ethyl alcohol will give you ethane, propyl alcohol will give you propane, butyl alcohol will give you butane. So same way, HI will always form water and I2. So single water, single oxygen, so single water. 2I means I2. Same way you take any aldehyde group. So here it is, I am taking ethanol. So ethanol will give you ethane, propanol will give you propane, butanol will give you butane, pentanol will give you pentane, hexanol will give you hexane, and so on. Same here, it is ketone. So it is a propanone I have taken. So propanone will give you propane, butanone will give you butane, pentanone will give you pentane, hexanone will give you hexane, and so on. And twice of I2 and plus H2O. Means I2 and H2 are constant product, you have to balance according to whatever the amount of HI is taken here. Next is carboxylic acid. So I have taken here ethanoic acid. So ethanoic acid plus 6 Hi, so I is 6, so it will give you twice of I2. So if there are 2 oxygens, so it will give you twice of H2O, that is your final product, rest is your alkane. So ethanoic acid will give you ethane, propanoic acid will give you propane, butanoic acid will give you butane, pentanoic will give you pentane, hexanoic will give you hexane. And this way you can keep on moving with the reaction. Next, CH3CONA, that is a sodium ethanoate, sodium propanoate, sodium butanoate, you can take any of them. So as sodium ethanoate will give you 1 carbon less alkane. So there are 2 carbons, so it will give you 1 carbon less because it is a decarboxylation reaction, means 1 carbon is removed. So sodium ethanoate will give you methane, sodium propanoate will give you, sodium ethanoate give you methane, sodium propanoate give you ethane, sodium butanoate give you propane, sodium, like so on. So 1 carbon is removed. So next is you take ethyl chloride, so that will give you methane. This is methyl chloride, so will methane, twice of H, one H will go with this, one H will go with this. So methyl chloride will give you methane, ethyl chloride will give you ethane, propyl chloride will give you propane, butyl chloride will give you butane, and so on. So if you change the catalyst and you are taking the H2 molecule instead of rather than decent hydrogen. So methyl chloride again same, but only the catalyst has changed. So this will give you methane, ethyl chloride will give you ethane, propyl chloride will give you propane, butyl chloride will give you butane, and so on. So this is about your preparation of alkane. Now friends, we are moving to another topic, that is the properties of alkane. So now in this we will use alkane and how they behave with the different molecule. So now first concept, suppose you take any alkane and react with X2, that will always gives you alkyl halide and HX, where halogen may be chlorine, bromine, fluorine, iodine, anything. And the overall reaction with halogen is known as halogenation. But when they react individually, so we call them individual reaction. For example, suppose we take alkane and react with the fluorine. So alkane fluorine reactions are very fast reaction and they are explosive in nature. So suppose you want to make any compound with the fluorine, so you will always get a very different conditions, different temperature, different pressure, different catalyst. So you need lot of things for that. So whenever I ask you to take halogen in alkane, so generally you should try to take either chlorine or bromine. Limitation is because fluorine is always explosion, gives you explosion, so it is called fluorination, so which is explosive in nature. Next you take iodine, reaction is called iodination, but this has a problem, it is a reversible reaction. After some time it will again become CH4 and I2. So this is the limitation with the iodine. So avoid fluorine and iodine when you go for any alkane reaction. Now next one is a chlorination. Sorry, bromination. So in bromination it's a very simple reaction, intermediate reaction. So it doesn't have higher speed or it doesn't have lower speed. It's an in between moderate reaction. So it always give you CH3Br plus HBr. One H will go with the Br and one Br will go with the alkane. So it will give you alkyl halide, that is a bromomethane, and reaction is called bromination. Same way you use chlorine instead of the bromine, so you will get chloromethane and reaction is called chlorination. Now this bromination and chlorination can further move on. So for example, I am taking, suppose in this reaction you again add Cl2. So that will again remove one hydrogen. So that will give you CH2Cl2 plus HCl. Same way this, again you add one more Cl2. So this will again remove one more hydrogen. So that will give you CH, Cl3 plus HCl. Same way CH, Cl3, again you add one chlorine. So that will give you CCl4 plus HCl. So as long as hydrogen will remain with the alkane, this reaction will keep on proceeding. So instead of methane, you can take ethane here. It will proceed in the same way. First carbon, it will remove all 3 hydrogen, then it will go to second carbon. Same way propane, first carbon, then second carbon, then 3 carbon. It will keep on removing the hydrogen according to the number of carbon. Now second concept, we have a nitration. Nitration, when we react any alkane with the HNO3, it gives us a nitroalkane plus H2O. So I have just broken that. This is CH3H, that is basically methane, but I have just broken it into H part separate, and this HNO3 part I have also broken into OH and NO2. So this OH part and this H part, they combine together to form water. So remaining behind is CH3 and NO2. So this will give you CH methane plus HNO3 gives you CH3 NO2 plus H2O. Same way you can take ethane. So ethane plus HNO2 gives you nitroethane plus H2O. So this is about your nitration. Next part goes to sulfonation. In sulfonation, alkane when react with the sulfuric acid at high temperature, it gives you alkane sulfonic acid plus H2O. So what happened basically here, just one thing you have to keep in your mind. Sulfonation generally take place only after 6 carbon. Less carbon you need again lot of conditions and lot of temperature, pressure, catalyst. So generally when we talk about a reaction, we talk about a normal condition. So in normal condition you require minimum 6 carbon for sulfonation of alkane. So again I have broken this into 1H I have taken out, and H2SO4 I have broken into this form HO and SO3H. Again concept is same, it will give you water out. So you will get hexane sulfonic acid plus H2O. Next part is your isomerization. In isomerization what happened basically, straight chain that always gets a branch. So this is a straight chain of butane. Now when it reacts in the presence of AlCl3 and HCl, so it creates one branch. So that is your 2-methyl propane. So one branch is created here. Same way if you take 5 carbon, so make all possible branches. If you take hexane again, or make all possible branches. So as the number of carbon increases, possibility of branches also increases. So that will start giving you mixture. So you can find lot of example like this. Next part is your aromatization. Aromatization basically, this is a hexane. 6 carbon, just keep one thing in your mind, 6 carbon will always give you benzene. So when you have a 6 carbon and you are taking oxidizing agent like Cr2O3 and you also attach with add Cl2O3, so this will convert into benzene and 4H2 will come out. So 4H2 from this part, that is total 8H, so ultimately it will create a triple double bond that will come in the benzene form. Suppose we have more than 6 carbon. So 6 carbon will convert into benzene, rest will remain as alkyl group. I have taken a 7 carbon here. So this methyl won't affected, only this 6 carbon will convert into benzene, so that will give you methyl benzene. Suppose after 6 carbon we have left behind ethyl group, so that will give you ethyl benzene. Suppose more carbon, 3 carbons are extra, propyl benzene, butyl benzene. Only 6 carbon will convert into benzene, rest will convert into alkyl group. So this is your concept for aromatization. Your next part is a fragmentation, that is also called pyrolysis or also called cracking. So in this what happens, a bigger alkane is broken into smaller parts. Maybe alkenes, maybe alkanes, maybe H2. So this is a breaking or cracking. So now take the example, I am taking the example of twice of propane at 70 Kelvin, and the cracking always takes place at high temperature. So this will give you one propene, one ethene, one methane and H2. So it is broken into alkene, 2 alkene with a different carbon number plus 1 alkane and plus H2. So left side and right side, carbon should be equal. You can take any compound, convert one into alkene, higher alkene, lower alkene, alkane or H2. So you can take any compound, break them into alkenes and alkanes mixture with H2 and you will get your cracking product. So different book have given different example, but concept will remain same. Now next example is thiazole CH3 at 770 Kelvin. So this will give you one ethene, one methane and one H2 product. So balance it. So thiaz will give you twice of CH2 double bond CH2 plus twice of CH4 plus H2. So this is your concept of fragmentation, breaking or pyrolysis. Now we have an oxidation. I just keep in the mind any compound which contain carbon, hydrogen or carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. When it undergo complete combustion, it always gives you CO2 water. Now you see the compounds you have, like you have alkanes, you have alkynes. They contain only carbon, hydrogen. So on complete combustion, they will always give you CO2 plus water. Same way, you can take any alcohol, methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, propyl alcohol that contain O also. Aldehyde, CH3CHO, C2H5CHO, any ketone, any ester. So these compound will always give you CO2 plus water on complete combustion, and on combustion you already get energy. So let's take example CH4 plus O2. So that will give you always CO2 plus water and plus energy. Now another type of oxidation, we have a control oxidation. In control oxidation, there is a less supply of the oxygen. So compounds are different. For example, twice of CH4 plus thrice of O2 gives you twice of CO plus 4 H2. So depending on the carbon, you have to break that into this part. Next is a catalytic condition. It requires a certain catalyst. By taking the catalyst, you can get different compounds. For example, if you have taken the alkane, that is a methane here plus half O2, but you have taken a copper here, so copper will always give you alcohol. So this is CH4 plus half O2 with the presence of copper at 473 Kelvin give you CH3OH. Now suppose if you change the catalyst and the same compound is same, see the compound is same, catalysts are different, so products are different. So CH4 plus O2 in the presence of molybdenum oxide and 543 Kelvin, so that gives you aldehyde group, that is the HCHO plus H2O. So if you take C2H5, C2H6 here, so that will give you ethanol. So this is methanol with 1 carbon, ethanol with 2 carbon, and so on. You can make it for use. So whenever in the competition or any school examination, these parts generally asked. So be careful about this because they are out of trend. So these are very specific with the catalyst. So keep remembering the name of the catalyst. Friends, we have a next concept. So we have done preparation, we have done property, chemical. Now we are moving to physical properties. In physical properties, basically, we have first melting and boiling point, that is MP and BP. Now what happened for melting and boiling point? You have to just remember first statement. Higher the molecular mass, higher the melting and boiling point. See, this concept is applicable to whole of the chemistry. You can enter into any group, you can enter into alcohol, aldehyde, ketone, carboxylamide, cyanide, isocyanide, alkane, alkene, alkyne. This concept will remain same, this concept will never change. So if you remember the basic concept, so you can solve thousands of questions based on the melting and boiling point. So let's take first statement. Now we are consisting ourselves to alkane. So higher the molecular mass, higher is the melting and boiling point. So if you see methane, ethane, propane, butane, some melting and boiling point will increase because molecular mass is increasing. So it can be with any group, but here we are sticking ourselves to alkane. Second, as the branch on carbon increases, surface area decreases, magnitude of van der Waals force of attraction decreases, hence melting and boiling point decreases. See, when the branch on carbon increases, so in packing there's a problem. Packing is not good. So as the branch increases, so surface area also decreases. When surface area decreases, so van der Waals force of attraction also decreases. As a result, melting and boiling point of that substance decreases. So for example, let's take an example of the C5H12, that is pentane. Now this is pentane, straight chain, so it has a higher melting and boiling point. Now same pentane is there, but this pentane has only one branch. So as branch increases, so melting and boiling point decreases. So this has lower melting point. Now here there are two branches. So again, these two branches is lesser than one branches, and it is lesser than the state branches. So higher the number of branches, lower is the melting and boiling point. This is the concept. Suppose you take big example of the carbon. So there are so many branches. Higher the number of branches, higher is the melting, lower is the melting and boiling point because surface area decreases. So this is about your melting point. Now one more statement that is very important. Suppose you have two molecules and they have the similar molecular mass. Two molecules, you calculate the molecular mass, they are similar, but one of them contain OH group. So just keep in mind, molecule which contains OH group will have always higher melting and boiling point due to hydrogen bonding. So statement comes here, in similar mass, OH group containing molecules, OH group containing has higher melting and boiling point due to hydrogen bond, because OH form hydrogen bond which is a stronger one, so it increases the melting and boiling point. So these four statements that will solve you a lot of thousands of questions. It may belong to any group, but the concept will remain same. Now next concept is solubility. Solubility is simple statement like dissolves like. Two similar things which are similar bonding, similar energies, they can dissolve each other. So for example, ionic compound, ionic dissolves ionic and polar. Any substance, any solvent which is ionic in nature, that will dissolve ionic and polar, and vice versa. Polar will dissolve polar and ionic, because polar has charge, ionic has also charge. Polar has lesser charge, but ionic has more charge. But both are ionic. Both are coming in the charge species. So charge species can dissolve charge species. So here ionic dissolves ionic and polar, statement comes like that, and vice versa. Means polar can dissolve polar and ionic. The second statement, covalent dissolve covalent. Any solvent which is covalent in nature and any solid which is covalent in nature, they can dissolve in each other. So covalent dissolves covalent. Third statement is non-polar dissolve non-polar. If the species is non-polar, so it can dissolve only in non-polar solvent. It cannot dissolve in polar solvent. So just keep in the mind. So what is polar, what is non-polar, what is ionic, what is all these, I have given a detail in my bonding chapter. So in bonding chapter, you can see my video and after that you can apply it here. Now one very big statement, a very important statement, any substance which can form hydrogen bond with water, that will be always dissolved in water. So this is one statement. So if suppose question now, why this compound is soluble in water, why this compound is not soluble in water? Simple logic. This compound form hydrogen bond with water. This compound does not form hydrogen bond with water. So any compound which can form hydrogen bond with water, that will be always soluble in water. So this way you can solve your thousands of questions by these 4, 5, 6 statements. So this is the concept. Remember the concept, you can solve your questions. So this is about your melting boiling point and solubility. Friends, we are entering to another topic, that is application, and that is a conversion. So now we are going for this. We have done preparation, we have done properties, we have done physical as well as chemical property. Now this is next part is the application. So that is called conversion. So now see carefully. I will give you certain road maps. By using those road maps, you can do any question. Now for example, the first road map for is doubling the alkane. Means you have to double any alkane. So see what is the road map says. Road map says that first you take alkane, whatever the question is given to alkane, react with the X2 in that will give you RS plus HX, alkyl halide plus HX. We have done from the properties of alkane. Now this RX, in second step you take twice of RX plus twice of Na dry ether, that will give you RR plus twice of NaX. So that we have done from preparation of alkane. So when you mix these two steps, so you will get your alkane in a double form. Now there are so many questions arises with this. Let's take methane to ethane. So first you take methane, react with the H2, that will give you methyl chloride. Then twice of methyl chloride with twice of Na, that will give you ethane. So your question is solved. Now methane to ethane you can do this way. Ethane to butane you can do this way. Propane to hexane you can do this way. Butane to octane, pentane to decane, and so on. So I'll give you one specific and conceptual reaction. Rest of the reactions you have to keep in the mind. Suppose I am taking 2 carbons, so you can take 3 carbon, 4 carbon, 5 carbon for practice. So this is your roadmap 1. Now let's come to the roadmap number 2. These are the groups and you have to make them, convert them into double alkane. So how will do it? So nothing but for making double, we have already one formula. I am just raising one more step. By raising one more step, now it's a 3-step reaction. So what you will do? First convert alkene into alkane. Rest double method is same. You take alkyne, convert first into alkane, then double is same. Then aldehyde with 4HI red phosphorus, first convert into alkane, then again same method doubling. Then ketone into 4HI, ketone plus 4HI red phosphorus, so convert it to alkane, then again double method is same. Same way alcohol, twice of HI red phosphorus, that will give you alkane, again double method is same. Same carboxylic acids with 6HI red phosphorus, that will give you alkane, then double is the same. So now see how many questions can arise from this. Now let's take ethene. This is the concept. You have to always keep in mind your concept. Now you can make ethene to butane by using this, ethene to this, and then double. So ethene to butane, propene to hexane, butene to octane, pentene to decane. So many questions are there. Same way, Ethyl to butane, you can make propyne to hexane, then you can make butyne to octane, then you can use pentyne to decane and so on. Here is the ethanol to butane, so you can take propanol to hexane, butanol to heptane and so on. Same way propanol to hexane, so you can take butanol to octane, pentanol to decane. Same ethanoic acid to butane, so you can take propanoic acid to hexane, butanoic acid to heptane, pentanoic acid to decane. Same way ethyl alcohol to butane, so you can take propyl alcohol to hexane, butyl alcohol to octane, pentyl alcohol to decane. So this is specimen question. These are the two carbon. I am taking example of 3 carbon. So you can simply raise the carbon, 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon molecule you can take, and the concept rest will be follow. Means from converting any these group, when you want to make it double, so first convert them into alkane and after that just go for this. So you will get your result. So this is your roadmap 1 and this is roadmap 2. This includes 2-step reaction and this includes 3-step reaction. So 1 step is there. So this is your concept.